Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Feeling Free podcast. My name is Ben Harris. And if you haven't already, if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, give a little like, give a little comment, all the YouTube podcasty things that people tell you to do. And if you're listening on audio, it would mean the world if you left a review, if you would follow, subscribe so you never miss an episode. And when you leave a review, if you have an iPhone and listen on Apple Podcasts, it really does help the show get seen, get noticed. It gets a little boost in the algorithm. So if you've enjoyed this, if you love this, then leaving that review or sharing it with a friend helps this wisdom that gets shared in a beautiful way to people who are looking and searching for the truth and the tools that are already within inside of them. So if you've been here, or if you're new and you don't know, I believe that no one needs to be fixed, that nothing is wrong with us. And it's just all a revealing. It's all a remembering and becoming who we already are. And so thank you so much for being here. It shows a lot about you, that you are invested in this wisdom, in these perspectives. And today we're going to talk about the fear of being seen. This has come up a lot recently. In my awareness, in conversations, in sessions, on Instagram, social media, where messages, people talking about it. I've just seen it, which is ironic that I've seen people talk about the fear of being seen. I've had a lot of questions about this. So whatever the reason is, it's happening a lot out there. So it's time to discuss. And we will talk about what it is, what it stems from, how it shows up, and what to do about it. So first, let's get into what it is and how it shows up. So the fear of being seen, it's quite literally, it's the fear of being seen. So I know that sounds pretty obvious, but it can be tied in with the fear of rejection and abandonment, usually. Really, all fear can be connected at the root, and then it just expands. We all usually have a fear of not being good enough. That's the typical root, and then it branches out and in different branches from there. So what this can look like is not wanting to post a video. So I've worked with people who have literally a fear of being seen, rejection, getting rejected, ridiculed, the judgment of others on social media. Like in a creative way, you could have a podcast and you don't want to post something because even on a story, a photo, a video, a story on social media, because you're worried about what people are going to say. Like literally them seeing you makes you cringe. And it's just, you have this imagination of what they're thinking or saying. And so you hide. And also what this could look like is you hide or cover your face in conversation. I've seen this with people who might cover their mouth or kind of turn away or not make eye contact during conversation. This can also look like, back on the eye contact piece, is that you don't make eye contact during sex. Literally being seen and seeing others, that is correlated. Not all the time, but some of the time, is if you have a trouble seeing others, then they can see you. That has some correlation. Or in general, it doesn't have to be during sex. That's a big thing. It can actually show up in a lot of your relationships and vulnerability, showing up as the full you, expressing your desires, your needs, your requests, stuff like that. So you can see that it is in a lot of places. The judgment of others definitely affects you. And it can even apply, like if you're procrastinating on a project or you might want to apply for a promotion at work, but you don't do it because you might not know this. This could all be subconscious. All this stuff could be in your awareness. You know what the thing is, and you're not doing anything about it. Like, the answers, you have the tools, but you're just not doing it. That's related to other things in fear. Or you might not know. This could be completely subconscious, unconscious, or subconscious, same thing. So as I prepared for this episode, just to make sure you guys aren't alone, that you know that you aren't alone, it was revealed in my own life where I'm not letting myself be fully seen. So you're definitely not alone. Lots of people have this. There's layers to it. It's not just like a snap and then you're done forever and always. It's a continuous unveiling, remembering, and layer by layer. And it's okay, like accept where you are. Where you are is beautiful. Exactly what you're supposed to be. You've done your best. And so you know that you are doing your best, and you will continue to do that. And so typically where this stems from is a past experience that has made you feel like it's unsafe to be seen, that it's not okay to show up as you. So when we talk about being seen, it's usually, right, like I'm being seen. So looked at, viewed, displayed, whatever you want to say. And so it's a vision of you, right? Is of course you just don't want to be seen, looked at. Even maybe compliments might make you feel uncomfortable too. So you believe that it's not okay to show up as you because you are the thing being seen, that you aren't good enough to be seen, to show up as you, and that version of you, the real you, isn't accepted. So you begin creating ways to alter yourself to find new ways of that being acceptable, to be seen or unseen. And before we go on, like I already mentioned in the intro, is that I want you to know that nothing is wrong with you at all for having this fear. We all have fear on some level. If you listen to the episodes that I have with people, like this is a solo, but in the interviews with people, everyone has fear. I just recently did 2 episodes with Dr. Nicole LaPera, Sahara Rose, very successful, powerful women. They have fear still to this day. And it's just leveling up and accepting that. So nothing is wrong with you at all. You don't need to be fixed. And before we go on, so we're going to do a little exercise, like a muscle test, but not a muscle test, but in a way. So I want you to say the following statement. And when I say the following statement, I want you to be aware of how you feel when you say it. So I'm going to say it, but I want you to say it to yourself, whether it's out loud, you're in your car, you're walking, you're alone, you're doing chores, whatever it may be, you're in a quiet time, whatever this may, wherever you're at. I'm going to say this, but say this in your brain or out loud. And this will be helpful so you can be aware of where you stand in this area. You ready? Okay, here we go. I feel safe being seen. I feel safe to be seen. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how true is this statement? I feel safe being seen. How true is this? 1 is I don't feel safe at all. 10 is I feel super safe. What is the feeling in your body and awareness? As I said that, as you say it to yourself, say it out loud, feel it. I feel safe being seen. How true is this? Where did you feel something? Did you tense up anywhere? Just notice that. You don't need to do anything about it, but just notice. Say it out loud to yourself and see how that feels. And if you're at a 7 or below, then it's something to be aware of and work on. You might be at a 10 one day, a 9, but generally speaking, right, like you already know the truth. You know your body, your soul, you already know like what the truth of that is. And you're most likely listening by yourself, so you, quite ironically, you are safe to not be quote unquote seen. But you might have some things of even seeing the truth of who you are. But hopefully this episode and conversation can help loosen and massage some of that and release some of that. So if you're at a 7 or below, then it's something to be aware of and work on. If it's at a 5 or below, then you should definitely address this. It's more serious and it's affecting you more than you think in relationships, happiness, job, creative endeavors, anything. And people tend to respond in a couple ways. You either go all in on something and you get hyper productive, or you stop doing the thing altogether. You hide, you avoid. And regardless of what side of the spectrum you're on, it's still hiding in your own way. Because the fear of being seen, you could totally, right, is get motivated, productive in one area. So you don't have to be seen in this area because you feel being seen or productive, or you get validation, you feel comfortable in this one area and you avoid the other. Nothing is wrong with either, right? And so technically you're hiding in any direction and nothing's wrong with it. You're doing exactly what you know how. What is your normal? What is your comfortable? What is your default? That doesn't make it ideal, right? It doesn't mean that it's helping you or no longer serving you, and we're going to be able to make a different choice. But we all have fear, and especially with this fear affecting us in some way, even if it's small. And so it's not ideal. Let's make a change going forward. And before we get into what to do about it, I want to have a quick visualization. So if you're driving or exercising, you might want to come back to this, or who knows, maybe that physical awareness, that stimulation will help you generate and activate and catalyze something else within you. So if, it could have the same effect. So if you're active, don't worry too much about it. But if you do have the ability, stop for a minute and let's close your eyes. So take a quick pause, whatever you're doing. Let's get settled for a minute. If you're watching this on YouTube, hello. Close your eyes with me. Get connected, get grounded. Feel your feet on the earth, feel your butt on the chair, feet on the ground. Wherever you are, roll your neck around. Move your body, get connected in your body. Take a deep breath. Hands on your heart. Feel that connection in your body. Take another deep breath. Connect with your heart and your breath. Keep your eyes closed. Just feel. No need to do anything about it right now. We're just being in the moment. There's no rules. Just breathe. Feel that awareness. Feel your heart. Feel your body. You're here right now. You are safe. And as we're in this place, we feel connected. We are safe. We are safe right now. When was the first time you felt unsafe being seen? So I'm asking you for that first memory that's coming up right now. When was the first time that you felt unsafe being seen? What memory came up? If you need some more time, press pause. Come back to listen when you're ready and you've located that memory. So now that you've uncovered the reason, or just one of the reasons why you feel unsafe being seen, the question is, what do we do about it, right? Okay, now I have this awareness of, what is my quote unquote grade or score of how safe I feel being seen. I know that I don't feel safe, or I know that I feel safe. And now I've located one of the reasons of why I feel unsafe, of those memories from the past that has now, incentivized me to act differently so I don't feel that feeling again. I'm going to walk you through some steps by using a general example. Then you can apply these steps to rewire and replace this belief. And you can get to the truth and you can release the fear of being seen in this instance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an example of a memory just to give you some reference. So I'm going to give you step by step, like I want you to know, like, this is what I do with clients, one-on-one work, to really, tease out the fear, release the fear, get to the root of it, and release it, be free. So it's not true, and you can replace it with something that is the truth and that is serving you and that you want to have moving forward. So this is gold if you apply it. So the example of a memory, let's go back to grade school. Let's say I was in 7th grade. This story isn't true, but we're just going to roll with it. So at the beginning of middle school, let's say, right? 7th grade, beginning of middle school, I'm in my teen years. I'm really wanting to impress girls, get new friends. So I'm in science class, and when the science teacher asks for a volunteer, I'm the first to raise my hand because I really want to impress people. I really want to, do something new. Everything's so exciting. I have all this energy. So I'm the first to raise my hand. I go to the front of the classroom. I put on the white lab coat, the safety goggles, all of it. So we start the experiment. The teacher and I, he's asking me to do this, do that. I do it. And we begin testing some chemical reactions. And the teacher, we test the first. Nothing happens. Now we test the second concoction, this experiment. It goes in and nothing happens. Now, the third time it happens, there's a big bang, boom, and a flame erupts from that little test tube beaker thing. And everyone starts laughing and the room is in hysterics. And little do I know that I burned my eyebrows off. So, and let's even say I peed my pants too, because that's even more embarrassing. And now from this one experience, everyone calls me no brows, pee pants, which could be sounds like a funny name. It sounds silly, but this stuff happens and you might be laughing in discomfort but this stuff happens, no matter how silly it is, it's often these quote unquote silly things that feel the most serious and like really get stuck in those crevices because like typically when we think of like trauma, we think of big trauma, but these little guys often are the most sneaky that are affecting us. So that's why, I'm being a little bit silly and having fun with it. So hopefully you can have fun with it and know that, yes, it's serious because it's like really hurting your happiness in your life, and feeling so constricted and tight and anxious and fearful, and you're not being your most expansive, loving self that the world can benefit from. However, it's also like not serious too. Like we've lived many times before, we're gonna die again. So like we can have fun with it. It's serious and also not serious. So just from this one experience, burn my eyebrows off, pee my pants. And so now this causes me to hide who I really am because of just one bad experience. I raise my hand, I get the courage to go up and try and impress people, and then boom, get shut down. A bad accident happens, and now, people are making fun of me. And why it feels even worse because I felt brave. I was nervous, and then I got up in front of the class. But now it's no longer safe to be seen. Like literally, right? You have to think of the result of this is me up in the front of the class. Everyone's looking at me. And now it's no longer safe to be myself because I did it this one time. And then this is what happens. And now I no longer put myself out there because I believe that this is going to happen every single time. And so what my brain naturally does and my subconscious begins to protect me and the rest of my school years into adult life are built around this belief that it's not safe to be seen because if I do, I'll get rejected, I'll get hurt, I'll get embarrassed, no one's gonna like me, da 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 da. So I stay small, I don't be seen, I just do these little things that feel more safe. And it's reaffirmed time and time again that this is the truth because I've now formed my life around this, and it is indeed true because that's my perspective, right? Like whatever you're believing is true, no matter what you're believing, because you believe it to be true, so it is like it's just reconfirming this again and again. So I'm making these quote unquote safe choices that make me feel more safe. So I'm proving myself true, but really is it true? And that's what we're going to get into right now. So I would encourage you, get your notebook out. This is for real, the stuff that I work with one-on-one people on, in retreats on. This is the alchemy process. This is what I have deemed fear alchemy. Yes, it looks a little bit different and it's nuanced based on the person, the situation. However, you're smart enough, you already have these tools, so you can use these techniques and apply them to your own life. Here we go. Step number 1 is identify the belief. We already know it's unsafe to be seen. I believe that I can't put myself out there or I will be embarrassed, hurt, or ridiculed. Now that you've identified the belief, step 2, ask yourself, is this true? Yes or no? And you can only answer yes or no. There's no in between. There's no maybes. There's no if. Is it foundationally 100% scientifically proven true that it is unsafe to be seen? I can't put myself out there or I will be embarrassed. So I know that because I've done this so many times, of course, this isn't true. But I want you to, one, like think it, right? Of course, like you can logically say, well, no, of course I know that's not true. Like, is that 100% true and accurate all of the time? No, because there's probably been a time that you can locate in your memory in your life that you have put yourself out there and it's been totally fine, and you've been celebrated. So no, this belief is absolutely not 100% true, but your brain and your ego and your fear and your subconscious protect you. And it makes you believe that this is 100% true, because your brain has a hard time thinking in nuance, in the gray areas, because it wants to save time, it wants to save energy, so it just thinks black and white, and it just categorizes things for you to keep things simple. But simple can also be, because it wants to keep you, this is when things feel normal and comfortable. So it's doing exactly what it's supposed to. That's not wrong, but we know this isn't true 100% of the time. So step 3 is I just ask myself, does this thought, does this feeling benefit me? Believing this, like, does this thought of it's unsafe to be seen, that I can't put myself out there because I'll be hurt, ridiculed, embarrassed, does that benefit me? No, it absolutely does not benefit me at all. It's actually extremely detrimental. You could say it's ruining my life or your life. Number 4, step 4 is, what's another possibility? Like, what's another way to look at it? Instead of believing this, what's another way I could look at the situation? Or what's another thing I could believe? So I could believe, just throwing around some ideas, my brain and body have protected me, doing what they think is best. And I appreciate that. And I thank my fear and brain for doing exactly what they're supposed to do, because they are doing what they think is best to protect me. The feeling of fear to be seen, however, is no longer serving me. It's detrimental in my work and relationships. And so maybe another way to look at it is that this feeling of not being safe is actually a guide, a compass to do that scary thing. It's leading me to, like, once I do this thing, then I will feel liberated and fully me. And if people don't like the real me, like if they do quote unquote reject me, then they aren't my people. So that's another way to look at it, is like, if they don't like it or enjoy it, then I'm not for them. Step 5 is, what do I want to believe? Well, what I want to believe, like literally, and when you ask yourself this question, go to this place of, what do I want to believe? And ask like you've never asked before. Like, if this statement could be true and you could know it in your bones, in your DNA, in your soul to the core, what do you want to believe? If you could replace this thought from that memory that caused you to believe this, or the multiple memories that caused you to believe this, if you can go back in time and replace this thought, what would you want to believe? For me, I would say it's safe to be seen. Excuse me. It's safe to be seen. And even more, I am free to be seen. I am safe to be seen. I am free to be seen. So now I take this thought of it's safe and to be seen, I'm free to be seen, and I replace, excuse me, YouTube. Excuse me, I had to get a drink. So I'm going to go into the feeling. Like, notice how heavy that first statement, that first belief of freak. All right, we're back. Notice how heavy that first statement, that first belief of it's unsafe to be seen and be fully me. Like, how heavy is that to you when you feel like, oh man, like I scored a 2 on the first exercise, that when I say the statement, I feel safe to be seen, that's not true whatsoever. And it's unsafe to be me. It's unsafe to be seen. How heavy is that? That I can't be me. I'm not good enough to be me. That my true self will be rejected. Now notice how light and how free it feels to be in the embodiment, an energy of, I'm free to be seen and fully me. So that new belief that you've created and that you're going to replace with this old one, when you feel that, when you know that, when you become that, how does that feel? I'm free to be seen and fully me. The difference is so much lighter. Jeez. And there we have it. I got a little coughing storm in there, but it came at the right time. And who knows, what if I am getting over of a little allergy, dry cough, and so I was coughing. But maybe this is something that I'm releasing. Like, I'd actually be super interested to know if you guys started to cough. This is interesting because I've had a cough, like a slight cough, like it doesn't hurt. It's just like really dry and yeah, just like almost nothing, like a tickle in my throat. Interesting. So message me on Instagram if you guys had any bodily reactions, responses, releases when you did this exercise with me. I'd be curious to know if, see, I'm going to keep going. So, but now you have it, like you have the tools and perspective to understand your fear of being seen. And now you have the tools to replace that. Like go through those steps, rewind, listen again, play this again, watch this again. You have the tools. And I guess I got it in this episode, or I might choke to death, cough to death. And that's how you know it's real. That's how you know this is raw, I guess. But if you have like a real sticky, dark, heavy fear of being seen, I'd love to work with you. Seriously, it's my joy, and it's also your joy and in your benefit to release this fear of being seen. So if you do want to work with me, goodness, coughing some more. If you have that feeling, if you have that calling, I urge you to listen to that and go to feeling-free.com/coaching. Go in the description, go in the show notes. You can click that link, listen to that calling, and I'd love to work with you if you have a sticky fear of being seen. But man, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. It shows so much about you that you are here right now with me listening. Thank you for taking the time with me for yourself. I love you. I believe in you. I'll talk to you soon.